Hello there, my name is Jai. This is News Review. Thank you for being there. There were ugly scenes in Manduar, Kombo Manduar today, where the Manduar Mandinka N versus the Manduar Wolof N were engaged in ugly clashes there, leading to riot police being activated, tear gas being fired, and some people being arrested. A reporter was in Manduar and he came through with a report. We'll bring you that. But also, with Global Youth Parliament has also flagged off its environmental heroes challenge by putting up red flags in parts of the Kanifing municipality, which could see people get punished for littering. Bankamane will be my guest today. Their company, Sand Company, Sino Majilag, was also involved in a row with the mayor of Banjul, Rohi Malik Lo, when the mayor visited their company earlier this week. Bankamane is the communications person there. He will be my guest today. Before that, we'll bring you the stories in detail. We'll begin with the Manduar incident today, where the youth of Manduar Mandinka and the youth of Manduar Tuba clashed over voter registration in that part of the country. More in this report.
The clash between the community of Manduar Manding and Tuba began on Monday. According to sources, the clash erupted as a result of Tuba Manduar's attempt to be in charge of their own voter registration by having their alcalos stamped the attestation forms of their members. Upon noticing such actions at the registration center, some of the youth of Manduar Mandinka decided to interrupt the attestation process by denying the attestation of Tuba Manduar residents by their own alcalo in order to be registered by the IEC officials who were already stationed at Manduar Bantaba.
Soto minna, wal mi ko e alkaliya soto. Ni alkaliya soto. Anu mole ya. Ngamere nyanda fulai. Basila nama kala mudadu nindia modam nanani ite fawla sabete lundaw karmi adi la newo manda sara jadi wala jadi temina ngamere nda sara jadi pralsi nyo kala muda manyo kala muda imam fe bondole hanninga moy hanninde jere ngalo nenni ko boy ka fo nyala wala ni ke ben lado mi ana do kula nda fe fola de kadu ini mbunyale jansila oro ni bina fana ni bunyala nyanda nala misa nan sasini sare mol pani mam foto so sare mol de ja lu don ni bunya man nankal mo bunya fana sare nyadi oro la kaliya a to nyalo mo fa mansoro kadu ya funun ko wajuara wala ya fansun alkali sabatombo oduma be minisa e ka fanyade local government oduma be wala ando odumo ngamara semmo bala ase alkalo tombo baranga na sembo bala alkalo tombo na alkalo bisate mindo ngamara nyente nala futala wala kay tenel ko ha alla lundawde lafta ekelete ba ani lundawde male nyotolo ani lundawde male alkale adi nyol jati luma kalam fo bi kare felu ibe kare felu lumin ibe kare risa lumina e ka ko nyeko bi nyimpana alkale aso ni pitino mo kede jumale ko sabu oto ngamira toñamo kilinde annum fonse tamanyo toñala lundawle toña fo e ikana fengo jibe ikana la nafaji be kana ni gobe se jibe la bi ibe trompelal.
Riot police stormed the registration center, clearing angry group of youth with tear gases. According to sources, police arrested a number of youth who are currently under police custody. We managed to speak to some youth and this was their reaction.
In Kobe kono Manduari Surwa Kunda until Kabiri 96 ni bega election o everything cool beke nyokane. But ninang niaje lafta puruka bondi fonwe nga nyinjiko ni nyilano sotoko luntangol lebota na mane min yaron ko ebe jare Surwa Kunda. So wala na lafta puru ya surwali ya tabulo londi fonwe ya registration stampo di le fonwe like alkalo sokol stampo membe bulu then pour alkalo ila sokol karke alkalo nying aka stamp then wala na direct to the IEC la molia jang so mo so is a kaitol dade because na manke wota ajibe kabiri 96 ya jamena raja 94 96 karre o kumasta ntol nana ni surwal man registration o kebali anyokan ngake dunia dawda ngake sate dawda ni nyulla ka nyokang but why nyinang abe jarale pour itole fansun tabulo lo ka jako itol nyanda ka stampa fon e wole na direct to the IEC la moli ajang pour wole la kayto dade tole na dara ko fe mantara koma so ngalon ko to ko tapale ya nin kuriya be kuol nyunu kono wala ne ilafza pour kalun tawon register nyim banko kanjang mi yalon ko ani banko la loi climatano
ya binin kunu jamman dia bake registration wala bakeri manduari jang manduar bantaba so mol nata woldo kunu na signol min bijan surwal fana fanolu e fana nada jay ni la tabulo e ke lafta e fan sun stampol la pour ka register mi yalon kanene man ken na sate do jang so koy wota kala tabul kilina balola jang alkal kilin jere bojang alla kabila kundios nano ay taraje ko mun dalda ka kenyamin na kondine na registration wala bot surwal nata fo wota kala ay si kiaman nada jang alaj mamadou ndiaye anala delegation o kunu idiamuta e kam fate seita so biso manda wulda nada ko teke kunu dol ko neta registration wala nga be kele fine fitna manke so bimbi jan somanda nga para jurumol je nada more than 100 people enil landim bojang operation kata sidin jay wol anim mo ko ton seku bas jaaju wol be député wol be nada janne MPP la mol so enin surwal ba communicate kan ngaje ko ke surwal nada muruna ko de ni la tabulo ya londi duto ko do jana e ko lafta kal loy fond e pour ka register so boy sol nada fay wota kala no sate alfal nada ko wota kala no alkana fitno sambana mol la sate do surwal ko wala ba kala so la surwal do nada ba anim modo sonkara mo killing e ba sonkola fe kala da paral nada ka tia gaso fay mol kono registration dula jang kam mo jama barama e boda je fana ya na monan arrest wo somanda ye sambe tata defon la suo kono ya tia gaso fay je namusu kono ma ba lorin sirinje a boyta nada samba loptano han saba loptano de teng e ma bula follow.
Making comments on the incident, Superintendent Lamin Jai explained, there is a dispute over alcaloship between the two Manduars, that is Manduar Mandinka and Manduar Tuba of the Wolof. The IEC had designated a voter registration center for Manduar. This center is based at Manduar Mandinka. But there is the other side, which is Manduar Tuba, who have their own alcalo, and this alcalo is a legally appointed alkali. So the IEC realized that since they are both alcalos and there is one registration center, they suggested that the two alcalos can come at the registration center, or maybe they can all be designated as people can give attestation in case there is anybody who needs attestation. But the people in the Mandinka area said this is not possible because the only recognized alcalo is their own alcalo. The other alcalo cannot participate in that process. I understand that the other alcalo came with his table and stuff, and the Mandinka Manduar came and disrupted the whole process and even instigated violence. So this was why the police decided to intervene and deploy officers there and control the situation. So in that process, 5 people have been arrested for obstruction-related issues and their matters are under investigation. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Usman Jata.
Welcome back. Now there is a new effort to make the Kanifing municipality cleaner. Global Youth Parliament is an organization that has flagged off its Environmental Heroes Challenge by putting up red flags in parts or areas in the Kanifing municipality. And really, people could get punished if they are found littering in those places. More in this report.
The Global Youth Parliament Gambia chapter kickstarts its Environmental Heroes Challenge around the streets of Kairaba Avenue. The Heroes Challenge is an initiative by the Global Youth Parliament Gambia chapter. It is aimed at keeping the environment clean and implementing the anti-littering law with the help of KMC under the leadership of its mayor, Talib Bensouda.
The red zone is about us identifying an area with the help of KMC, the Kanifing Municipal Council. We worked together, we identified that Kairaba Avenue should be the red zone. And with that, we cannot cover the whole of Kairaba Avenue. That is why we're going to cover from the Gamtel at Westfield, just behind us, till Gampost. I think that's enough space, that's enough of a location for us to cover, so that we will erect our flags, the red zone flags, as you may see, and also for the public as well to know what we're doing, so that we will be sensitizing them in the first month about littering and why it's not, good to litter in our streets and in our environment. The benefits of keeping your environment clean, especially there's so many shops and businesses on this road. I'm sure they'll want to keep their environments clean, especially the front of their shops.
Two GYP KMC parliamentarians challenge the general public to add up to the challenge.
I'm glad to be part of this anti-environmental challenge. It's not really easy, I know, because people have been trying to do this for a while, but then no success has been seen. So I'm really hoping that we will be successful.
The GYP came up with this initiative because of the attitude of the Gambians, because we have seen that it's very hard to control our littering because we are used to it. And we don't have enough dustbins and all those stuffs. And this GYP is coming with this initiative so that we can engage the Gambians through sensitizing them and telling them not to litter. And we have the anti-littering law, which is here to help us do this work, and it will make it very easy for us, because whosoever litters, you will deal with the police and other institutions that are working on it. I think it will work, inshallah.
Head of anti-littering KMC London Camera was present to support the team.
These are concerted efforts. People should come together, not only GYP, but it should be everybody's business. Looking at it, madam, I used to tell people that Gambia, we are among the dirtiest country. I'm sorry to say, I'm a Gambian, and we must face each other to say. You go to Dakar, Dakar is over 8 million population. It's over 8 million population who are only in Dakar. You compare the area, the vast area that the people of Senegal has clean, and compare it to Gambia. That's almost has consumed the entire Gambia. I will be very sorry to say it's the most dirtiest, but I am definitely convinced that most of these African countries around us are more clean than us. We are declaring that Westfield is no free litter. Nobody is allowed to litter. Whatever you have in your, even these cafe tuba cups in your hands, when you drink it, look for a nearest bin, throw it there. If you do not do it, our police will be going round, our anti-littering officers will be going round. Anybody who is caught will be prosecuted according to the law.
The Global Youth Parliament Gambia chapter is of various chapters, KMC, Banjul and West Coast region, and they are up to challenge each other in the area of keeping the environment clean with the help of their various councils. Fatu Kamara reporting for the Fatu Network News Review.
So, welcome back. Last week on Thursday, the mayor of Banjul visited a company that is at a station at Saro, that is the Denton Bridge. The company is a sand company. They engage in dredging sand from the sea and then selling it. Well, the mayor visited the compound of the company there, and the scenes there weren't really nice. It was ugly scenes from that company. We now bring in Mr. Bankar Mane, who's the communications officer or director at the company. He will explain to us the visit there by the mayor and what really was the problem. Mr. Mane, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Lamin. I'm glad to be here.
What happened at your company?
Well, I mean, it was a very quick affair. It wasn't expected at all. I was in Banjul actually at the time, in a meeting when I got a call from one of our associates telling me that there was a huge entourage of cameras and Banjul city council officials and the mayor at our premises. So at first I was totally confused because everybody was asking me, since the media was involved, whether I kind of asked the mayor to come there with the entourage. But I was like, no, I didn't ask anybody or any group to come over there. So in the end, I decided to just go over there just to be sure what's going on. So I went there and I found the mayor there with the Banjul City Council officials. To be honest, I didn't know what to make of it. So, but the mayor quickly was telling me, hey, this has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with Barrow and what his government is doing and something along those lines. So I said, okay. So I kind of stood aside and listened. And but the conversation was becoming more and more about us. So, and then from there, I asked...
Us how?
About Sanu Majilak.
Yes.
Because he was making comments about, apparently there were comments made about not, us, having to pay them, that we should be able, they should know about us because we are supposed to pay them millions and revenue and all that kind of stuff. And so, I was like, okay. So we moved, and I told them I want to talk to media to respond to some of these things, but they didn't allow it to happen. So they proceeded to the back of the premises, which is on the beachfront. So there too, the accusations pretty much continued. And the more the conversation was going, it was becoming more or less about Barrow and more about us. But I guess it was meant to tie Barrow to us somehow.
Yes.
And which was very inaccurate. I thought that was totally false. There was nothing truthful about what she was saying. It's either she was misinformed or she was just pandering. It just didn't make any sense. Let me put it that way.
But so, were you aware of this visit?
No, I was confused. Honestly, even the employees, everybody was confused because nobody knew that this was going to happen. We didn't have any prior information or at least announcement or at least call to say, hey, we are coming. They just stormed the place, stood in the middle of the premises, gave a press conference, went to the back, gave a press conference, and again, even there too, I told them I wanted to respond, and they said no. They literally dragged the media out of there saying, hey, we brought the media, sorry, we cannot allow you to talk to them.
But what exactly did the mayor say she wants out of your company?
I think the grievances were mainly about taxes, about environment, about, the stuff. And none of it made any sense because one, the vessel that we have there dredging is in this water. And that water is government. It's not Banjul. In the village, towns and villages or places don't lay claim to water. It's not theirs. That's the government's domain. It's marine. So one, that's not Banjul. And our office over there, the premises itself, where she was standing literally is in KMC. So I didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense.
So you are saying this is not, in fact, doesn't fall under BCC, but KMC. Is that what you are saying?
Well, just today, KMC officials came over there. Just today, KMC officials came over there asking, why was Rahim Malik Low here? I was like, well, she said she's here because this place is in Banjul. They said, no, this is KMC. So they didn't understand that. And they didn't appreciate it one bit. They were not happy with her at all. So I said to them, well, now you guys go to BCC and deal with them. They again, we don't want to be caught in the middle of fights going on between central government and BCC or KMC and BCC. We seem to be the battleground, yes. But everybody comes there and wants to start a fight. And I'm like, no, you guys go to BCC and deal with them. This is now, but they said, no, we're not even going to talk to BCC because we're going to wait until when they claim really in a legal way, that is by form of a letter, that this is actually BCC because it is not. I said, well, that's you guys.
But the one thing that also happened on Thursday when the Rahim Ali Glo came and her entourage, one thing we also saw is the issue of swear words being machine gunned, including one of your top officials who was calling insults, swear words.
No, that one was a major misunderstanding. What actually happened was when they left, this is Omar Jaan. He called me, he's the owner.
Yes.
And he said, hey, let's go to BCC and talk to Rohi about this. Because, again, none of us, I was confused, everybody was confused, we didn't know what's going on. So we went to BCC, and Rohi wasn't there. They told us he's at Bond Road. So we went to the Bond Road to talk to her over there. So when we got to the Bond Road, turns out Rohi was just leaving from ports, because I guess they went to attack the ports too. So he was leaving already. So Omar as he was stepping out of the car, he was basically saying, hey, Rohi is no more Banjulian than I am. How could she come to my business without our knowledge and storm it and stand there and have a press conference? This is a private business, and you know, if she's doing her politics, let her not doing it on my private property. So this was where some stuff he was saying. And one of Rohi's guys, who really was behaving very thuggish. I mean, this guy is acting like a guy from the hoods. I mean, very, very thuggish. I don't know who he is and what he's all about, but he's acting very... He's one of those, you know, guys coming out there looking for a fight, sort of. Yeah. So he responded back to Omar, and so it became between sort of like a swear words, like you are saying, between the two of them. And that's how it happened. And that was what the cameras caught, and they set it out. But but in the end, it was just all that.
Now, but what do you make of Rohi Malik Low's concerns then of the issue of the environment, the impact your activities at that place could cause to the environment? What do you make of that? Because really, your dredging machine is stationed not very far from the bridge. And when you dredge the sand, the sea tends to go deeper. How does that affect the bridge, for example?
This is an excellent question. You see, Lamin, when you have these kinds of questions, you go to the company involved and you go to relevant authorities and you sit down with them and express these concerns. Yes. Because it could be lack of information on your part, it could be lack of knowledge on your part, it could be misinformation on your, it could be a million things. Yes. And it could be also factual, that your concerns are real. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Yes. And so this is how you deal with these things, because we have never had any official communication with the BCC at all. It has never happened. Their guys will come there, ask about us. I mean, look, this was mostly about money. BCC wanted a piece of the pie. That's, you know. So, and it was never about environment this, environment that. It was always about piece of the pie. When do we get our money? When, how are you guys going to give us something? Yes. This was what it was always. I mean, the officials were coming there. I personally interacted with some of them. And it was always about money. It was never about environment. So, but if you have environmental concerns, issues about environment, whatever those are, come and talk to the company, and then go to relevant authorities. NEA is here. Talk to them about it. And all this is how you deal with these things. You don't come there, create a scene, and then you have a confusing message. Oh, this is about Barrow, and then this is about you. Oh, but this is not about you. It's about Barrow. No, but it's about, you know, you guys might even be working for the government because your vehicles have got government names on the government department names on them. These were also suggestions that were being made, that we had NDNA, which is National Disaster Management Agency, names on our vehicles. Yes. Accusations that are just, so you could tell it was not about really environment or about us being a government proxy, if you will. This was mostly about money, people who are looking for money. And they could be honest about that, talk to us, and then we can see whether we are in BCC, under BCC's jurisdiction, and then we can talk about whether we even should pay them any money. Because these are all relevant questions that both sides should be asking. Because these are legal issues. You just don't barge into somebody's home and say, no, you owe us this or you owe us that. There are avenues that you follow. Either you write an official letter, or you invite them officially and have a conversation, and then see where you go from there. You see what I'm saying? Yes. It doesn't require scenes being made and people yelling about stuff. Because when you watch their videos, you'll see that some were mainly talking about money. Yes. Those guys didn't say anything about the environment. Yes. They were saying we can make millions from here and we want to make millions. And I'm like, okay, but come sit down with us. And now KMC came there today. They were not happy at all with Rohi Law. I can tell you that right now.
But dredging is not 100% environment friendly.
You know, nothing that anytime you take from the environment, you shake the environment up, you do anything, it's not going to be fully ironclad. Nothing. Even, I mean, when you drive your car from here to your house, you are
emitting something.
Exactly.
Into the
So we are engaging activities every day. That's how affect the environment somehow. I mean, the paper you are holding.
But what safeguards then do you put in place?
Exactly.
What
This is the question, and
yes.
this is why this is where the question always needs to be focused on.
Yes.
And that is, hey, what are the environmental impact assessment? What is your environmental impact assessment? What does it look like? What are the prognosis? What should you do? And what are you doing? These are the questions that people should be asking. And then together we can answer these questions. An environmental impact assessment was done using experts, using equipment, using data, using all kinds of stuff that are needed to be used to get a report to see and whether this thing, how it's going to impact the environment, what could happen, all the scenarios. For 2 good years, that process has been going on. So it's not like people just wake up. For a project like this, I mean, you cannot just wake up one morning and go and set it up on the highway, and then you just throw a dredger in the sea and then pull sand
out.
And then you cannot even do that. Everything has to follow certain rules and regulations. And when you meet those rules and regulations, then you operate. And then there is an ongoing, what they call ongoing monitoring. Every time the NEA is there monitoring, checking to see, even myself, believe it or not, I'm not an expert on the environment. But even myself, every day I'm going around those beach areas looking and seeing whether, if I observe anything wrong, I will tell them. Dredging, as it turns out, is done literally every other year in this country. The ports is always dredging the ports, always. And they even dredge all the way to the bridge over there, not at the Denton Bridge, but the bridge at the ports. In fact, when we were dredging over there, they were asking us to get as close to the bridge as possible. For years they've been doing this, and it hasn't affected Banjul in any way or the bridge. In fact, when they wanted to fix the problem of Banjul as far as danger that erosion was causing, what did they do? They dredged. So this dredging could be a blessing. And this area that we are dredging to, there is a lot of huge amount of sand deposit over there. Fish cannot even survive there. It has no marine life, that place. And because there's a lot of sand, and the traffic is not possible. There is no navigation there because there are a lot of issues going on there. This dredging could be a blessing in disguise, and there is an ongoing study. We are being used as a guinea pig, by the way, by even the environmental agency.
Yes.
They want to make sure that if they want to see if we are successful at this, and in other words, it turns out to be a very good thing. There are a lot of parts in this country on this coast that have a lot of sand deposit that needs to be removed. So we are being used as guinea pig to see how viable this could be. And already a study is in the works. I believe it's funded by EU or some agency like that to look into all those possibilities. So this could be a big blessing for us as a country.
Now, how is your the owner feeling? I mean, this is a guy that I know, someone who has traveled well, has done really well for himself outside, invested everywhere all over the world, and this man returned literally back to his country to invest in his country, and he is feeling some way targeted. How is he feeling about this whole entire issue?
Look, Omar is not naive. He knew from the get-go that this wasn't going to be easy. Even getting the certification for all the things that to be able to operate as a company here, that was a tough fight. It was very difficult. That's why when the suggestions were made that we are a proxy of the government of Barrow, that Barrow is part of the... you sit there, you go, really? We wish it was that easy. But no, he knew what he was getting himself into. And so I know this case was, because this one came out of nowhere. What Rohi did was a political stunt. He did it because they needed to, BCC wants money or what have you, and they're trying to see how they can put some pressure on. And then to also embarrass Barrow around the way. This is what it was about. It wasn't about this or that. It never was. So, but everybody was caught off guard by it. And Omar too was shocked by it. He didn't expect it to happen like this. So, but after being the initial shake-up, he came to his senses. If you notice our press conference, he was very subdued, even apologizing for his reaction to it. Because in the end, when he reflected, he's like, this is my country after all. What these people did was wrong. But we just have to, as a country, as Gambians, we have to allow these things to come in and pass, and then we keep moving. And in the next few years, I'm sure, we'll all look back and say, thank God this thing was done, and now here we are, the country is benefiting greatly from it. I do believe that. So, and he has the same optimism, and that's what's keeping him grounded.
Yeah.
Guinea-Bissau wants us to go there, and Omar is the one refusing to do that. He wants to do this in the Gambia. So, but again, you know, a Gambian businessman just sent me video after video of him in Nigeria saying, look, in Nigeria here, this is not even a conversation. Yeah. Nigerian government is one asking me to dredge. And everybody is excited about it. I said, well, it's Gambia. So in the Gambia, every little thing becomes the news and we all get talked about it. Yes. He said, look at the dredgers. He even was showing me videos of the dredgers. He said, we are dredging. Oh, that's how we get all our sand. I said, well, for us, we just have to create a scene about issues before we get through it. So.
But how about you? You are the spokesperson of this company. Okay. Now you have people out there who are saying this company is destroying the environment. And you have Banka Mane, who is an activist, who is a citizen journalist, who always stands up for the truth. And he is part of that. To the extent some people are saying you should resign as co-host of for the people, by the people.
To those people, I would say the reason why, in fact, I'm excited about this project is exactly for those reasons, my activism. You know, I'm from Combo. For years, I've watched the destruction of the Combo Coast, and it killed me inside. I was there. I interviewed those women who were affected by the disaster that happened on Combo Coast. I mean, I have videos here. If I show them to you, you will cry. What has happened to the Combo Coast? Gunjur. Now they are literally cutting down the forest. You see, they're talking about dredging. Go to Gunjur. They are literally now cutting down the forest and getting deeper in more and more and more into the town. Ask, you know, Amin Manja is fully supporting us because he came there and saw what we are doing, and he knows he's been fighting against what's been going on in Gunjur. Go to Gunjur and see what has happened there. The women have lost their gardens. They've lost their rice fields. Kartong is gone. There is nothing there. Kartong is already a wasteland.
Yes.
When you go to this place and see what they've done to our women and their livelihoods, I mean, it will melt your heart. And this is why, for me, but we should, anytime you have a disaster like that, look for solutions. Bold solutions is what we need to deal with that disaster that is unfolding on the Combo Coast. This is the solution. And that's why I'm excited about this. So maybe a few people are complaining, you know, here and there, but because there are a lot of people also looking at this from a political point of view, which is fine. But what I'm saying is, most of those people, I don't blame them because they don't even know the issues. Most of them have never been to the Combo Coast to view for themselves what is unfolding. They don't know. So, and they don't know how dredging is like. They need to just Google dredging and see its pros and cons. That's all they need to do.
But yet you will have people who will still refuse.
Yeah, that's fine.
To say, okay, look, these people are destroying the environment, and there is no convincing them, really. There is nothing that you could say that will convince them that you are not destroying the environment. But how do you navigate that?
No, you don't navigate that. All you do is make sure your conscience is clear. Make sure what you're doing it in the right way. Make sure what you do is for the benefit of the people of this country. Make sure what you're doing is honest and with integrity that it deserves. When you do that, Lamin, for any issue, go to bed and get a good night's. You know, when I sleep, ask anybody, even Fatu Kamarat, people who know me very well. I go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and I sleep the whole night. Sound sleep, because my conscience is very, very clear. I know what we are doing.
I go to bed at 3 a.m.
Oh, I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Oh, 9. Ask Fatu, she will tell you. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is about doing the right thing and finding a solution for the destruction on the Combo Coast. I want to see us solve that problem. And since this is the solution, I'm fully grounded in this process. I fully believe in it. I believe it will take care of that. Hopefully, very soon, we will also make a proposal to the government to see whether we can help with that Combo Coast destruction, seeing how we can fix it, how we can help those women be able to go back and get their gardens and start their gardens and their furrows again.
So now, back to the issue that happened on Thursday. Are you contemplating any measures really to averting such?
No, because
such an event?
At the end of the day, it happened. And we are hoping that we have all learned our lessons from it. And I'm sure Rohi too has learned her lesson from it. BCC has learned their lesson from it. And so this is not one of those cases where we want to even take it to another level and do this and do that. It's okay. And then, in a weird way, they have started a conversation. I always wanted to get a conversation about the environment in this country. But people are not willing to do it. And hopefully this will orchestrate a conversation about our environment. Because for years, most of us dealing with the coast issues, it was very few of us who've been making noise about this land. People were quiet.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this is not a one-off affair. We are talking about us. Let's also talk about the Combo Coast, the destruction, and the fish meals over there. What has been happening with those? I want to get people excited, to get them excited about all these issues, about us, about those ones, about everywhere on the coast. I really want to. Because we are not afraid of the conversation. We want to, in fact, have it. That's why if you notice, Lamin, Golden Lead and all those companies, did you ever see their press conference?
No.
Did you ever see their press release?
No.
Thank you. We are out here in the media having press conference discussion because we are excited about this conversation. We want to have it. We do. Because for me personally, I want us to have the conversation about environment. I really do. So I hope that people are not going to just talk about this one and then the Golden Lead and all those other mess that is happening on the Combo Coast. They don't want to all of a sudden, and the fish situation, you saw what happened, the one that Tumanjai was dealing with. This is a disaster that is happening in Lami. So I hope that we are not going to keep the conversation on this side here, but also extend it to the whole entire coast. I really want that to happen, honestly. I personally want to encourage people to keep prodding, keep asking these environmental questions, keep questioning us, I'm serious. I want them to keep asking us, make sure that we justify our moves in an environmental way, and make sure that we explain ourselves as fully to the people as we need to. And I want them to also go to the Combo Coast and do that to all the players. Everybody. Make sure that we are all explaining ourselves. Because if you notice, nobody else is explaining themselves. Nobody is even talking to the media. We're the only ones doing it. You notice that? Nobody else is doing it. I want us to make sure that Golden Lead, all these dredgers, the miners on the coast that are mining these Gunjur, Sanyang, destroyed Katong already, and all these places. I want people to make sure that they too come to the media and explain themselves. Because this is a disaster, Lamin, and it's as bad as it can get. Honestly. When you go to these places, you will really cry. It's sad.
How about this issue, this claim that your company is one that is pro-Barrow?
I don't know what pro-Barrow means. I don't know. I honestly don't know what, because Barrow doesn't own the company. Barrow doesn't have any shares in the company. Barrow, nothing. So I don't know what pro-Barrow means. We are pro-everybody. Because if you come there, and one of these days I will invite you over, you will find people, believe it or not, people that I know are UDP supporters. We have a lot of them there. People that I know are NPP supporters. We have quite a number of them there, a good number. Yes. People who are APRC supporters, a good number of them there. People who are GDC. Yeah, we have people of all political backgrounds
working there.
And yes, and we don't have an issue with that, because they have a right to their political opinion. This is benefiting because we don't sit there and say, oh, we are here for NPP or for UDP or for this party or that. We don't care. Come and do your work and put food on the table for your family. That's what I tell all these employees. If you go there tomorrow morning, they will tell you, because a lot of them call me Uncle Banka, I don't know why. Yes. But Uncle Banka always tells us, come, do your job, put food on the table for your family.
And also, this company, you have heavy-duty machines that work there.
Yeah.
And you have a group of people, a large number of people just enter that compound like that. How safe is such
Well, this was one of the major concerns personally I had. I was worried for Rohi's own safety. I really was. I was scared to death. Because you talking about bulldozers, I mean, when these things hit you only once, you don't stand a chance. You die instantly.
You die.
You don't even stand a chance. These are heavy, 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 heavy equipment. And she was literally standing in front of them, giving a speech, and the machines kept running.
They were running.
If you listen to watch the video, you will hear, you cannot even hear Rohi because of the noise. And so putting herself and all these guys in danger was, I think, was totally uncalled for. And I hope they will never repeat something like that. Somebody could have easily gotten hit over there and died. How are we going to explain that? Where are they going to explain that? And so really, I think the whole move was just uncalled for. Officials need to stay away from the protocol. somebody can get seriously hurt.
Your company, before you start operation, one thing, I mean, you had these women who were using that place. You had to compensate them for them to leave. Tell us about that. I mean, how did that all happen?
We had the women who they didn't own the land, as you know, but they were doing rice. You know, they saw an empty plot of land and they want to do rice farming. They do rice farming over there for some years. So when we came, we decided, when we got the place, we're going to use it. They had to leave, obviously. So we said to them, okay, how much of rice do you get every year when you do your farming? You know, they told us, we said, okay, don't worry. We'll give you that amount of rice every year. And you can use that time to go and work on other things because we are going to be using this place. And they're excited. They couldn't believe it at first, but when we told them...
So you mean annually you will give them rice?
Twice now we've been giving them. Yes, even before we got started, because our project got delayed because we had to go through all this rigorous environmental impact assessment stuff. So the time when we thought we were going to start, we never started at that time. But we thought, hey, an agreement is an agreement. A promise is a promise. We gave them the rice, even though we hadn't started operations yet. So we started already doing that even before we got started. And
but the women didn't complain or to say that they are not going to...
No, they were excited. I mean, if I'm working hard every year and getting so many bags of rice, and you come in there and say, Banka, I'll give you this amount of rice for free, go home and relax. Well, am I not going to be excited about that? I will be. So...
Sabanka, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Glad to be
here. Thank you. That is
Well, by the way,
you wanted to say something?
Yes, quickly. We have the price of our sand has gone down.
Yes.
It's $475.
I will charge you. I will charge you for advertisement.
It is.
I will write you.
I have to throw it in there.
Write you an invoice.
It is $475 per cubic meter. So for a 10 wheel, they can get it for $4,750.
Sabanka, you will get an invoice by the end of today.
I thought I'd throw that in there. I got you, Lion. I got you.
But anyways, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. That's the Bankamane, the communications director at the Sino Majilak Jalbak Sand Company at the Denton Bridge, speaking to me there over that issue that happened last Thursday. Before we go, there is a 31-year-old woman who had an accident and the leg is injured, badly injured, and she needs help. One of our reporters really went to see her, and she came through with this.
A 32-year-old mother of three, a practicing teacher, and a student at the Brikama College studying education, was involved in an accident on the 16th of December 2016. This incident happened while she was on her way taking her children to school. While crossing the road, she was hit by a car where she sustained a severe injury on her leg. She was then taken to the then RVTH, now Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, where she was undergoing treatment. As months and years passed by, the injury became serious, and last week, she decided to go to Senegal for treatment. As a dedicated and determined teacher, her colleagues deemed it necessary to come out to the press to help their friend seek medical assistance, as she is currently in Dakar.
Because of one of our comrades who is in a very, very horrible situation or condition, because that lady was involved in a very serious accident in 2016, and the condition now is very, very, very much terrible, because the accident caused the lady not to be going to school, and she is not doing some other activities at this point in time. When the accident, happened, that is in 2016, she was rushed to the Brikama Health Center, and she was there for some time. Then later referred to Banjul, that is the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital. She was also there for some times. The doctors did all they could, or everything possible, just to change her condition. But I can say that doesn't happen. Because the condition just started escalating. It got out of hand.
The condition of this young lady is terribly beyond imagination.
Yes, she was going to school, but even to attend lectures sometimes is a problem, because the pain that she is undergoing. The accident is very serious, and the infection sometimes even do reach at the heart, and she have to go and buy milk and some other stuff just to at least reduce the pressure. Sometimes you'll be coming to class, sit down, but even to attend lectures is a problem. The pain is very, very serious. Nekk léegi nii comme nu ma la ko waxee si anglais rek ñun fu mu nekk léegi ndimbal leen bëgga ndax suñ benn xarit koo xam ne kooku jigéen la te ñun foog naa ne yow jigéen nga xam nga jigéen nu mel waaw te moom métti bi moo dunda fu mu nekk léegi nii maa ngi taali ndaxte yow foog naa la vidéo ak tànkam bi nu mel condition bi dafa terrible waaw moom mënut a dem fu mu nekk léegi fenn mënut a def dara te mi ngi am ay njaboot gannaaw fu mu nekk léegi nii mi ngi Dakar mi ngi soxla léegi ndimbal te ndimbal boobu su ko amul fu mu nekk léegi nii mun naa koo jural leneen te loolu ñaanu yàlla ñu àgga foofu noonu so ñu ngi ñaan ndimbal c'est képp koo xamante ne yow Gambien nga wala nga nekk si biti nga ñaan ñun laa ñaan nga dimbale xale bu jigéen bii nii ndaxte mi ngi sonn trop bu baax a baax.
Is currently in Dakar seeking for financial assistance to undergo treatment because her husband is not financially strong to finance her treatment.
The lady is in Dakar right now. She is on medical treatment, but she needs financial support for her to be able to proceed with all the medical operations. Parce que fu mu nekk faj ku nekk xam ngeen naka la faj mel waaw faj fekkee amuloo xaalis boobu du mun a dem te kii jëkkëram moom loo xam ci sut gannaawam so léegi moom moo tax moom faj bi affaire bi soo see mu dileen yëpp loolu la amul ndimbal bu baax a baax so ñu ngi ñaan daal képp koo xam ne yow sa loxo jox na sa gannaaw nga dimbale ko.
Teachers are arguably the most important members of our society. They give children purpose, set them up for success as citizens of our world, and inspire in them a drive to do well and succeed in life. Her students are in no doubt in pain, and lending a helping hand is one of the easiest things you can do to make a difference in this world. You can improve the world one day, one person, and one act of kindness at a time. For assistance, you can call 204-7777 204 477 40 in News Review. I am Mati Senghor.
Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Tough Africa Global.
Well, apologies if anyone find some of those footage distressing there. That will bring us to the end of the show today. Thank you very much for being there. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, I'm Lamin Jai.